look at multiplying decimal numbers today. Now, when we added and subtracted decimal numbers, the rule was line up your decimal points. That is not the rule for multiplying. When we multiply decimal numbers, our rule is multiply, count, then move. I like to kind of think of it as MCM. Multiply, count, and then move. And that's kind of really important for what we're doing. We're going to multiply decimal numbers the same way we would multiply any other kind of number. So let's take a look. Let's do 35 times 0 and 7/10. So the first thing I do is I multiply. So I'm going to multiply straight up like I always would. 7 times 5 is 35. Carry my 3. 7 times 3 is 21, plus 3 more is 24. Started to write that wrong. I apologize. Now, so I've finished up my multiply step. Now I want to count. Okay, well, what am I counting here? I'm counting how many digits are to the right of a decimal point. Well, when I look at this, 35 is a whole number. So anything that's a whole number, everything is to the left of the decimal point. 7/10 here is a decimal number, and there is a 7 to the right of the decimal point. So it's one digit is to the right of the decimal point. So that's my count step. And now I move. So I start over on the last digit that I have, and I move my decimal points, that one spot that I counted, and my decimal point goes right there. And so that's how multiply, count, and move work as I'm doing multiplying decimals. So let's take a look at another one. Let's say I've got 5 8/10 times 6. Okay, my rule is still multiply, count, then move. So 6 times 8 is 48. Carry my 4. 5 times 6 is 30, plus 4 more is 34. Okay. Well, as I'm looking at that, I'm going to go back and I'm going to count how many digits are to the right of a decimal point. Well, 6 is a whole number, so it's to the left of a decimal point. So 5 8/10 is a decimal number. That 8 is to the right, so I move my decimal place, my decimal point, one place to the right, or one place to the left, one place to the left, and there it is, 34 8/10 is how I do this. Multiply, count, then move is how it works. So let's do 32 times 0 and 8/100. All right, well, 2 times 8 is 16. Carry my 1. 8 times 3 is 24. Plus 1 would be 25. All right. Again, 32 is a whole number, so everything is to the left of the decimal point in it. 8/100, though, is a decimal number, and I see that I have 2 digits to the right of the decimal point there. So I would move my decimal point 2 places to the left, and it would go between the 2 and the 5, and I would get 2 56/100. All right. Let's do one more here. Let's see what happens if I have both numbers as decimal numbers. So I've got 5 3/10 times 0 and 7/100. Okay. Again, my rule is still multiply, count, then move. So I'm going to multiply first. 7 times 3 is 21. Put my 1 down. Carry my 2. 7 times 5 is 35. Plus 2 more is 37. Now I go to my count step, so I'm done multiplying. 5 3/10 has 1 digit to the right of the decimal point. 7/100 has 2 digits to the right of the decimal point. So I have a total of 3 digits to the right of the decimal point, which means I'm going to move my decimal spot, or my decimal point, 1, 2, 3 spots to the left. So my decimal point will go in front of the 3, and I will put a 0 there, a place holding 0, to hold my place. Multiply, count, then move. That rule applies every time we multiply decimal numbers. Remember, multiply, count, and move.